She hopes to replace Bobby Harrell in the South Carolina State House in November, and he hopes to return here to City Hall in November of 2015. I had a chance to talk exclusively with Mary and Paul Tinkler for a special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. Well, Mary, let me recreate the scene. It was last Tuesday around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I thought about you because right after work I wanted to come and track you down. And I did, here on Broad Street, that is. And when I walked in, you actually were rolling up a campaign banner, and I remember you telling me about a birthday fundraising party that you had.
We did have a lovely time on Tuesday evening. It was indeed my birthday. I had a wonderful day, and that evening here at 95 Broad Street, I had a birthday fundraiser, lots of excitement in the air, a great number of supporters, a lot of financial contributions came in that evening.
Okay.
We just had a wonderful time.
And something else that happened later, early in that day, that is your lively press conference on Courthouse Square.
Yes.
And you said a lot of powerful words, including this. His trial in the courtroom is months away, but his trial in the court of public opinion has begun. The verdict will be rendered on election day. Tell me, what do you think the verdict will be on election day?
You know, I have a very good chance of winning this race. You know, as we have progressed over the course of this campaign, it has become evident that voters of this district are ready for a change, and that is what I was intending that day by saying that.
And Paul, she seems like she took a page out of the lawyer's playbook.
Well, Quintin, there is a legal proceeding that's sort of at the center of this campaign now. The indictment and the pending charges against Mr. Harrell.
Yeah.
And so I think Mary's analogy was appropriate.
Okay.
The trial in the public court has now begun.
And as we talk about Bobby Harrell, he actually responded to your Tuesday press conference by saying this, quote, "The people of House District 114 know me and have supported me because of my commitment to delivering positive results for the Low Country and our state." So when you heard that Mr. Harrell said those words, what was going through your mind?
You know, I think he is certainly right in saying that. He has been in office for 22 years. He has done good things for this state, for this community, but there is a time at which you become out of touch with constituency, and I think that time is now in many ways. As I'm walking around and knocking on doors and meeting with voters, they have expressed to me over and over again that they are ready for a change.
And tell me, how out of touch is Mr. Harrell?
You know, I think that as is human nature, if you've been in office long enough and you have not really had opposition, in this case in the past 14 years without Democratic opposition, you do somewhat lose touch with what is going on in the district.
Well, fill in the blanks for me. The House and Senate ethics committees should be abolished
because we do need an independent third body to make sure that there is a more checks and balance system with regulating objectively what is going on, what investigations are going on in both the House and the Senate.
House members should serve no more than 8 years
because there is an opportunity to get in there, do great things, make changes,
Sure.
You know, do wonderful things for the state, but then step aside and let someone else run, and I think that would encourage younger politicians to get involved as well, that they wouldn't see quite as much of a difficulty anyway in entering into races if they knew that there was a term limit.
And your father actually mentioned this, but you just turned 34.
Yes.
I'm right behind you at 30 in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Quintin.
You're welcome. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
But tell me, how much are you helping younger politicians really get in the game?
Well, you know, I hope that when they do see me out and running, working, knocking on doors,
Sure.
That they are encouraged by someone who is like them in many ways, who is starting out, who is not a politician, who has never run for a political office, but who does have an interest at heart in the community and in the state. And I do hope that younger people see that this is an opportunity.
And you know, I want to piggyback to what you said. You said that you really don't have much experience and this is your first time running for political office. So tell me, what grade would you give yourself right now?
I think that I'm giving myself an A. I've gotten out there on the weekends, I've gotten out there on the evenings, I've worked full-time, I've maintained this job. And I have reached as many voters as I can and will continue to do so in the next month. So I'm happy with the way that things are going.
Okay. Operation Lost Trust has.
I think it's entered back into play in many ways.
Yes. Bobby Harrell says reforms you mentioned during your press conference he has supported and have passed in the House. You say.
We need to continue pushing them until they pass in the Senate.
Yes. Well, Paul, I want to move from Columbia to Charleston because obviously there's a big race going on right now, and that is the race to become the next mayor of Charleston. As you know, on last Tuesday, Dick Elliott jumped into the race. So when you heard that he was going to jump into the race, what was going through your mind?
Well, first of all, what was going on in my mind is we need to get Mary elected first. The election for mayor is a year away.
Right.
And as far as Mr. Elliott's entry into the race, it didn't surprise me. I knew that he was interested, and I think others will enter the race as well.
Oh, yes. And let's rewind time to August when you actually announced that you were running for mayor of Charleston. You basically said this to the Post Courier, quote, "I think what Joe Rowley has done with the city is phenomenal. It's the best city in the country, if not the world, and I intend on building on the best. Put on your thinking hat and tell me what would Mayor Tinkler do to build on that?"
Well, first of all, we've adopted the campaign slogan, "Building on the best,"
Right.
because I believe that really captures what it is we're doing.
Sure.
Charleston, in many ways, is already the best.
Yeah.
We're just going to be building on that, improving on that.
Right.
The city is not a static thing. It is ever changing. As we see, it is changing right before our very eyes.
Right.
And so what Mayor Tinkler would do is, number one, manage the success of downtown. And I say manage because we are already successful in the heart of the city.
Sure.
But we need to manage it. We need to deal with the problems that Chief Mullen has identified on Upper King Street. That is underway now to try to find a solution to those issues. We need to deal with the problem of West Ashley. Citadel Mall, that area is in decline. The city needs to put resources there and on James Island to foster economic improvement in those areas.
Let me go back to what you said about Citadel Mall. That's a place that I went on the weekends every weekend with my family. We loved it. And it was a booming business. It was a booming location. So tell me, what's it like to see that place go downhill, if you will?
Well, it's taken a long time. I remember when Citadel Mall was built.
Yes.
And it was an exciting time for West Ashley.
That's true.
Now, as I say, cities change,
Yeah.
and the economics of a mall like that have changed over the years. And so our city planning department, Mr. King, is head of that, is taking a very close look at that. And so it's going to have to require a partnership between the private sector and the public sector to arrive at the best solution for that area.
And speaking of partnership, let's talk about James Island. How would you actually work with Mayor Woosley?
Well, that's a good question. I think there's been too much tension between the town of James Island and the city of Charleston.
Right.
And it's not necessary. We need to work together. And frankly, one of the first things I intend to do after we get Mary elected,
Okay.
I want to go meet with the mayor.
Sure.
And talk to him about ways that the city of Charleston and the town of James Island can collaborate to create a livable James Island.
Sure. And let's go back to Upper King Street. Obviously, there have been a lot of violent incidents down there. Tell me, what would Mayor Tinkler do to solve that with Police Chief Mullen?
Well, I don't know what the solution is right now. It's something that the committee that's being formed is about to take a look at. I would like to be either on the committee if I could get appointed, or if not, at least to perhaps attend some of the meetings and participate in some way in solving the problem.
As we talk about the Charleston Police Department, you know, obviously about Reuben Greenberg. He died last week. It was really a shock to a lot of people here in Charleston. So tell me, what are your memories of Reuben Greenberg?
Well, I attended the funeral of Chief Greenberg, and Mayor Riley was there giving remarks, and he really summarized Chief Greenberg's service very well. He talked about anecdotes of the chief during Hurricane Hugo, and he talked about the chief roller skating throughout the streets of Charleston, and he talked about the respect that Chief Greenberg had from the police department.
Right.
And I knew him personally, and we all will miss Chief Greenberg.
Yeah. And as we have both of you here, and, you know, you're her father, she's your daughter. Let's start with this, something that I like to call Dear Dad, Dear Daughter.
Dear Dad, I thank you for the opportunities that you have given me in this lovely 34 years of life. You have blessed me with the chance to get the best education I could get. You have allowed me to travel the world and experience new things. You have given me the opportunity to be a part of your political campaign and get involved in this. And you have more so than anything encouraged me to do what it is that I want to do and love to do. And I thank you for that.
Dear daughter.
Well, as I said at your birthday party the other night, Mary, you took a leap of faith when you entered the world. And your mother and I have been impressed with your zest of life ever since then. And then you took another leap of faith when you decided to enter this race. I know it was not an easy decision, but it's important for you to serve in this capacity, to be involved in the political process. And your mother and I thank you for that, and I think the constituents of District 114 will also thank you on election day.
And you know, Mary Tinkler and Paul Tinkler, I thank you as well for this opportunity.
Thank you, Quintin. It was lovely to see you.
You too, yeah.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that.